When someone says you should use a product or service, you're skeptical, and you should be. Which is why Myers Auto won't ask you to trust them for your vehicle repair and maintenance. However, they will ask you to trust their customers.
I first met Dwayne 10 years ago, looking for a shop to do transmission work on my antique Jeep. I have quite a few Jeeps ranging in age from 1946 to brand new. Truly, for all my automotive needs, I trust Myers Auto.
Find out for yourself. Myers Auto, just north of L on 140th Street.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
She wants me to say Evelyn's man.
Evelyn's man.
I'm going to change my name to Evelyn.
That introduces me, but how are you going to be introduced?
Evelyn's real man.
Whoa. Ouch.
You see how that creative juice is flowing right there?
Wow. You must have had your coffee and energy drink today.
You know what? I did, and the cocaine helped.
See, and I just find that the crash from the cocaine actually just makes it a worse podcasting experience.
Oh, we're podcasting?
Yeah, you haven't hit record yet or anything silly, though, right? I mean, this is clearly off the record, and no one's listening to this.
Nobody listens to this, even if we were recording. I don't think it matters.
That's a good point. Welcome to No One Listens to This. Oh, wait, also known as We Should Be Better at This.
That is Eric, and I am Chris Donovan, and this is a podcast about us just goofing around and maybe playing a few games and talking, like, what is it, pop culture? Not pop culture, but like...
I would call it pop culture. I mean, okay. It's general stuff.
General, the general stuff. We're like, this is the general store. We're going to change our podcast to general stuff.
That's who Trump just appointed to be the head of the military, general stuff.
Yeah, is he dead? I can't even come up with it fast enough. Is he married to Lieutenant whatever?
Yes, but Sergeant Numbnuts is their cousin and introduced them.
Well, their kid, Private Nobody.
Private Nobody. Private Parts was definitely. So, yes, this is We Should Be Better at This, where we basically talk a bunch of nonsense. And speaking of nonsense, who the hell are you, young sir, to take a vacation like you did in the middle of a pandemic, you irresponsible, horrible person?
Are you talking about last week when I was in Carlsbad doing homeschooling in a condo?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It wasn't much of a vacation because everything's closed, but yeah, no.
Especially because you're vacationing in California where everything's closed. Like if you vacation in any other state, you could pretty much do a lot of things. But yeah, vacationing in California is like, we're going to go sit in this hotel room somewhere.
Yep. And then it's like, oh, let's go eat at that restaurant's parking lot. Because they all have tents set up.
Hey, kids, do any of you feel like getting an outdoor parking lot haircut at a barber? Have I got the place for you?
Ooh, those back alley nails, man. Those go.
Yes.
It's true. That's how it's happening, though, right now until they're letting everyone open up. They're letting pretty much everyone open up now, but restaurants are limiting their seating inside, so they still have huge tents outside. It's crazy.
Yeah, and everyone's just trying to do what they can to survive. But how was it? I mean, I saw some pictures of you at the beach. You at least got a little bit of beach time.
Oh, we walked down there. Yeah, we went down there. The kids had some fun down there on the sand. I didn't go down to it. They went down there a different day. We ate down there, which is always the best thing to do, is just eat by the beach, you know. The best part was we got on a boat.
You got on a boat. Now, did the owner of the boat know that you were getting on the boat?
No, I don't think the owner actually cared, but no, just kidding. Yeah, we chartered it. It was a solo boat for the family. It was supposed to be my brother-in-law's wedding in Maui. We were supposed to be in Hawaii. Not Maui, but just Hawaii, some island up there. But
it's all the same.
With
you don't
COVID,
have to specify. You can just say Hawaii. We get the picture.
Yeah, you know, with COVID and everything, there was a 14-day quarantine, and we were only there for like 7, so we'd have to be locked in a hotel room for that many days, and didn't want to do that. So we decided.
Think they enforce that, by the way? Like,
oh yes, they do.
I mean, well, but how? How do they enforce it?
They don't let anybody come into the States and stay in a condo type room that we had. So they were making us go to a hotel where they could monitor everyone.
Because they tried to do that to me in the early days of COVID. I had to fly to Arizona.
Are you sure it was for COVID?
No, but it was during COVID. Yeah, it was during COVID, and it was right in the middle, by the way, when it was probably a stupid idea to be traveling, and it was like, I don't know, I think it was like late April or something when it was still crazy, and I had to fly to Phoenix, and they gave us this thing on the plane that said you have to fill this out with where you're going, and you have to let us know, and then you're gonna have to quarantine for 2 weeks in Phoenix. I was there for like 72 hours or 48 hours or something. And I'm like, and I was talking to the person in the seat like next to me, and I said, so basically if I don't turn this in with the correct information, there's no way for them to check or travel. He goes, I guess so. So I just filled out, I'm moving here and I'm staying with a friend. And then I just put fake information and turned it in. And then I got back on the plane like 72 hours later and flew home.
That's gnarly. I mean, okay.
But I'm also a horrible person.
That's true.
Let's point that out.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna actually add to that and say, okay, you obviously knew. You said it was during the middle of COVID. You said it was happening. You know, people were not traveling. Not a good idea. Probably not a lot of people on the plane, I'm guessing. And
no, at that point, there was hardly anyone on the plane. Nowadays, if you fly, it's plane's
pretty
packed.
busy. Yeah. But back then there was nothing. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. You're gonna already put everyone at risk in your house to do that, and then you're gonna go to the hottest place on the planet, and you're gonna go to the place where disease just thrives, and you're gonna go hang out there in 72 hours worth of rolling around in every virus you can get in the heat.
Yeah. But then again, all I really got there was the herpes that I got from my prostitute I ordered to my room. So I didn't catch COVID.
You had herpes way before that.
Well, she wore a mask. So, I mean, I think that's fair.
So did you, but I'm not going to say.
I wore a below the tummy mask. Did you hear, though, how Phoenix had, you did say it's the hottest place on the earth, and you are not lying. They had a record, I think, 50th day of the year of temperatures over 100 degrees.
Yeah, I was born in Phoenix, and I'm not going back. I know that.
That sounds like the name of a country song. I was born in Phoenix, and I'm never going back.
It's, you know what? I'm gonna write it. Sorry, I had that working up for me for a while. No, it's just like, because if you go out there and you buy a house, yeah, you get it cheaper and all. It's cool, it's nice, but then you have to like add 2 air conditioners to it, build a pool just to survive without melting. Not to mention you have to go outside.
Yeah, you have to actually go outside. What's funny is if you're going to build there, you should why isn't everything indoors? Like, I want tunnels going from one business to the other so that you can pretty much stay inside. When I went to Minneapolis on a business trip, they have Minnesota, they had these, they look like little tubes that went from building to building in the downtown area, so you could literally go from one building to the next without going outside. It's because in the winters, so you don't have to freaking go outside. I'm like, wait a minute, why don't they have that in freaking Phoenix where it's 9 million degrees and, like you said, you melt? Just going from one building to the next.
They have misters down there by the stadiums. I know that, but still, when it's literally, I went down there one time. It was probably 114 out. It was me and a buddy of mine.
So we went down there. It was a nice winter day.
Yeah. There was no game on. The stadium was empty and stuff, but misters were on, but there was nobody to be seen. And then we parked into this structure. We went into this restaurant, and there were just a shit ton of people. And then we left and went to another one, and everybody's just inside. There's like nobody outside at all. It was so hot.
But yet, if you go there, so many things are outdoors. And I'm sitting there going, why the heck? Like, I get why things are outdoors in freaking Santa Barbara or San Diego, because it's freaking gorgeous and everything should be outdoors. But Phoenix, everything should be enclosed in a hermetically sealed tube filled with air conditioning.
Ooh, a dome. They should put a dome on top of Phoenix. Dome Depot.
Like the one in the Simpsons movie?
That's what I just said. My son actually said that too. But no, also what I was thinking, Seattle's only half smart. They covered downtown because it rains a lot. So like there's a 3-block radius in downtown Seattle. You've been down there where they cover it. And there's like shopping and like the Starbucks and the team store and all that stuff. So you can walk around a little bit without getting like too wet, but you're still freezing your balls off.
But because it's Seattle, they covered it. It's just a big tarp for all the homeless. So they covered the entire city in just one big homeless encampment tarp. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have done that. I mean, I wasn't paying that close of attention, honestly.
So you had a nice little vacation. It was a nice little mini getaway. Probably isn't the vacation you wish you were taking.
No, if you want to know how it went, listen to my other podcast, Conversate with Us, with my wife, Evelyn Arrivez. Good little details about how everything went.
All right. So I just got back from my first business trip while in Texas.
Yeah, which is weird because it happened today. So you landed today.
I literally got back an hour and like 20 minutes ago. I'm actually 100% exhausted.
Hold on, let me ask my wife something. Hey, babe, can you get COVID through a microphone? No, thank God. Okay, cool. Okay, go ahead.
But you can get syphilis.
But you can get what? Never mind. Don't repeat that word. I'm dirty.
Well, but wait a minute. What if I have the microphone in my pants?
Then you're going to have to clean it.
I'm the only one who uses it.
Still, I think you should probably clean it.
Yeah, I went down to, I had to go to Austin, San Antonio, and then out in the middle of the sticks to go taste someone who is doing scotch, but from Texas. So I had to drink a lot of that. And then I had to spend some time sobering up before I got on the road.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
A lot of scotch.
Why can't I be your assistant?
Well, here's the thing. It sounds fun in principle, but when you're drinking scotch at 9 a.m. on a Thursday, it's not as great as it sounds.
Today's Thursday. I've been drinking since about 8.
I know, but everyone jokes about day drinking, like, oh, everyone's day drinking during COVID. It's like, yeah. You know what you're not doing? I guarantee it. You're not getting hammered at 9:15 in the morning.
No, you're still hammered from 10:30 the night before.
But when you're in the middle of nowhere, like I'm 45 miles outside of Austin, and I'm in where there's nothing but fields and.
Okay, so did you see the basement to the Alamo?
No, I looked for it and I asked around and I couldn't find the basement. They wouldn't let me know where the basement is. I lost a bike and I was told that they were going to keep it in the basement.
Yeah, that's where it's at. That's where they kept my bike from my childhood. I think it's a bike museum.
But bike museum. So yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I have this long drive ahead of me that's at least probably 4 hours. And I'm pretty lit from drinking scotch. And then you just have to sit there and try not to fall asleep while you sober up and then wait till you're good enough to drive home.
Oh, you weren't driving and trying to sober up and trying to nap at the same time? What are you,
No,
Wayne?
I'm a professional, so I have to.
Professional what? Sleeper?
No, I wish. I don't sleep at all anymore. But one interesting that did happen to me when I was in Austin.
That sounded
I got
dirty.
into a car accident.
Was it your car?
It was my wife's car because my car is an electric vehicle and I didn't trust taking it because I think I wound up driving for this 2-day trip. I drove about 700 miles in about 2.5 days. And so I didn't trust taking the electric car for that. So I took the wife's car and then I get into an accident.
What's the problem besides the fact that you probably have to pay for it?
Well, I have to pay for it either way. So, but it was, and I even remember thinking to myself, and I'm talking like 20 minutes before the accident, I had the thought of, I'm going to wind up getting into an accident because the drivers will, California, we're used to a certain style of driving, right? In California, there's only 2 speeds. You either going 80 or 8. Like there's nothing in between. You're either at an almost standstill or there's open freeway and you're flooring it and you're doing 80.
It's 80 or as fast as the car in front of you is going.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So here you get kind of a mix of them. And then, out in California, we're used to 4-lane wide super highways, 5-lane wide super highways. And here it's 2-lane highways. So, but even when you're in the cities, like Dallas isn't so bad, but Austin, it reminds you a lot of LA where it's a lot of one-way streets and shitty infrastructure and potholes and weird streets pointing weird directions and all that. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I'm going to totally get into an accident. And about 20 minutes later, we were at a freeway off ramp and the guy in front of me started to pull and make a right turn, pulling off the freeway and making the right turn onto a street. And I saw that he was going. And so I started going too. And then he decided to slam on his brakes because he didn't think he had the time to beat the cars or whatever. And he did because I was going too. So I had plenty of time. And he decided at the last minute to slam on the brakes. And so I just plowed right into the back of him.
Oh,
hit the car really, really hard. It didn't do much damage to my car, but I dented up the whole back of his car. And but the interesting part of the story is, so we pulled to the side and I'll admit it, I temporarily thought about just going because he pulled into a parking lot and I was behind him, right? So he pulled into the parking lot immediately right after the accident. And I thought to myself, if I just keep going, I could turn down 2 or 3 side streets and he's not catching me. Like,
not
I'm
at
gone,
all.
right?
No, not at all.
And yes, a lot of people saw this, but I could take off and no one's going to find me. And I'll admit I was weak for a moment and I thought about it, but then I thought, but then if I get caught, I'm in 10 times more trouble. And I said, screw it. So I pulled over with the guy. But what's funny is we wound up striking up a conversation and we spoke for about 30 minutes. Turns out he works for a major media company, to be unnamed, but it has the word heart in their name.
Oh, shit. And do I know this person?
No, but he is the one who drives around nationwide and sells their software that they use to different radio stations and podcasters.
Profit.
Yes.
What's your software called? Evelyn? Next Gen.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
Next Gen.
I think he is the one that goes around nationally and sells this podcast software to podcast. In fact, we wound up talking about the podcasting business. He's going to email me all the info to get this software. not that I'm going to pay for it, but he started sending. Let me send you the info. And I told him I have a buddy in podcasting and all that. He goes, let me send him the info. So he's going to send me it. So it turned into almost a business meeting. So I'm wondering, can I legally write off the accident as a business meeting?
Well, I was going to say, how did it all turn out? Did he still file a report? And
I begged him. I said, listen, man, here's my information. I gave him my business card. I gave him my cell phone number. I texted him so he knew like this is a legit number.
Should have given him something else, if you know what I mean.
And I said, listen, man, go see what it costs to get it fixed. Shoot me a photo of the invoice, and I'll just Venmo you the money. Because my opinion, it was probably $200 worth of damage. I'm like, listen, I got $1,000 deductible. Like all this is going to do is hurt your insurance, my insurance, and I'm still going to have to pay for it anyways. I'd rather just pay. He goes, well, how do I know you're going to pay? So listen, here's my business card. You know where I work. Here's my cell phone. I'll text you so you know you have my information. I gave him everything. Said, take a photo of my license plate, do whatever. I'll Venmo you the freaking $200 or whatever it's going to cost. Just go get me the invoice or whatever. So I sure hope he doesn't file a claim, but.
Oh, wow. He actually went through with it. Man, you were such a smack talker. I swear, if he doesn't call me and want to launch a podcast in the next week, I swear you were failing hard.
Well, come on. I did not bad. I get into an accident, pull over to the side of the road and start sweet talking the guy until we have a 30-minute conversation about podcasting. I mean, that's not bad, right?
Wait, hold on. I forgot something. Are you okay?
No, my feelings were hurt.
Well, okay. So you weren't like physically hurt? Because that's probably what I should have asked right when you said I got into an accident.
Well, what's funny is, so the other funny thing about the accident, and listen, I take a lot of risks, as some of you know, and definitely Chris knows. I will either hit a home run or I'll bunt, pop out to the catcher. Like, I mean, it's only one or the other, right? Like, there's no in between, right? So I'll open my mouth and it's either going to be magnificent or it's going to really be bad. So we pull off to the side of the road when I decided to not flee the scene of an accident. And we pull over to the side of the road, and he had because it is Texas, but it is Austin though, which is a very blue city, very, very blue city. It's like San Francisco, but he had a Trump sticker on the back, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna try and be funny. So I get out of the car, and the first words out of my mouth, not as "Are you okay?" or "I'm sorry" or anything like that. I'm a motherfucking Trump supporter. And he kind of looked at me like, and I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, this could have gone really bad. Maybe this guy has a gun. It also is Texas.
I mean, and he's a Trump supporter. I don't know if I would have gone that
exactly.
angle.
And I'm like, motherfucking Trump supporter. Like I did it on purpose. Like I rear-ended him.
Okay, hold on. Was it okay? So what kind? It wasn't like a pickup truck that was raised with a big
it was like
flagpole.
It was
small. It was a small SUV with a bumper sticker, right?
Yeah, it was a small SUV with a bumper sticker that said Trump.
But if it was a truck that was jacked up with a big flag,
I would not have done it. No,
I'm just making sure you got your priorities straight.
Listen, I'm an idiot, but I'm not a complete idiot. Like I do have some standards. They're small standards, but I have some standards. But I just thought I read the guy. You can kind of instantly scan a person and read them. Yes. And I scanned the person. I assessed he was not a threat, and I decided to blurt out something that I hoped would be interpreted as funny, and then we went from there.
What are you, RoboCop?
He even asked me later where he goes, wait, are you a Biden supporter? I'm actually, I think both of them are assholes and I don't like any of them, but I did want to just say something that was funny. And he kind of chuckled. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, He goes, we are in Austin. I wouldn't be surprised if you hit me on purpose. I said, well, I'm not from Austin, so no, I wouldn't.
That's funny that he said that. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to be lifelong friends now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, not really. I typically do not like to stay friends with the people that I almost flee the scene and commit a felony.
I'm sure, but he's going to email you. He has all your
Chris,
information.
Listen, if I stayed friends with everyone that I committed a felony against, I would have a lot of friends.
You'd have a big guest house, I'd tell you that.
So that's what happened to me. The other thing that's
dude.
happened since the last time that we spoke is a big death. You know, celebrity deaths happen all the time. We lost one of the great guitar players of all time, Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, his name's Eddie. Awesome.
Yeah, you were a child of the 80s as well. I'm sure that Van Halen played a role musically in your life, because if you were alive in the 80s, that's pretty much, you know, or watched MTV at any point when they played music videos, Van Halen was quite a big part of that.
Yeah. And in being a young gentleman growing up with MTV and them not having a whole lot of rules, Van Halen definitely was something that I was watched heavily. Yes. Hot for Teacher is a good song. That's actually going to be on my alt mixed up this week as my pick because it's a tribute to Van Halen.
Yeah, and you know, listen, the guy is an innovator. He is one of the best guitar players of all time. Yeah. And I was going to ask you, what do you think? What is your? Do you have like a top 3 or top 2 Van Halen songs? You already mentioned "Hot for Teacher."
"Hot for Teacher" be one, and then just because it reminds me of going to the skating rink and jumping, it'd have to be "Jump."
Yeah, that's a good one. I even though it's a nonsense song,
it's totally ridiculous.
I've always liked "Jump." They're nonsense songs, but they're fun. I love "Hot for Teacher." I'll tell you another good one is "Dreams." It is a fantastic song. And then a little bit of right. In fact, why don't you play a little bit of "Right Now"?
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
So what made him great too as a guitarist was he wasn't a one style guitar player. You know, this was a guy who could play classical guitar. He could play guitar riffs, power chords. He could do hardcore, like melt your mind solos. He could be in the background. He could be in the front. He was really kind of a virtuoso, where he was one of the few guitarists that could kind of do anything on a guitar.
Yeah, no, he was. When it comes to guitar players in that world, he is in the top 5.
Totally.
10, yeah.
I would say definitely. I mean, top 10 for absolutely sure.
Yes,
top
10
5
for sure.
maybe. But for sure, one of the most important modern guitarists. The other thing that I thought was really interesting, you know, so he died on October 6th. He actually had first confirmed his initial cancer diagnosis in 2001.
Wow.
Right? I mean, I had no idea. So he's essentially been living with the cancer for almost 20 years, and then it just finally got to him.
Wow. See, that tells you that, you know, he's extremely rich. So all the money he has couldn't cure him. So
it's like Magic Johnson with AIDS, because this guy got diagnosed with AIDS like 25 years ago, and he looks healthier than any person I know. And it's like, wait a minute, don't you have AIDS? Like, wow, that money, I think he's literally blending money up and drinking it as a shake.
He is. And the best thing for that community was him getting it, because he put all of his money behind it, and he's been nothing but, getting them medicine and getting it cured. So beside that,
in honor of Van Halen in general, Eddie Van Halen and Van Halen, I came up with a couple. I searched up. I'm going to give you a couple of Van Halen facts. Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So Eddie Van Halen cannot actually read music, even though this guy can play piano, and he started playing piano at the age of 6. And he could play a few different instruments. He never could actually read music. He just memorized finger movements. Like he memorized where the fingers are supposed to go rather than understanding the notes. And you would think a guy that's that unbelievably musical gifted, and his father was I think a music teacher,
wow,
but yet he couldn't read music and didn't even understand notes.
he probably didn't want to be like his dad because he's like, oh, I'm not gonna be like you. You're a music teacher. I'm not gonna end up being like you. And then found out later in life that people love guitar players.
Yeah.
So he probably learned how to play the guitar without learning how to read music to spite his dad.
Spite his father. Right. No, you know what? You're probably 100% right. Another interesting fact, the band itself is actually listed in the Guinness Book of World Records because in the spring of 1983, they headlined the U.S. festival, which is held out in your area in San Bernardino.
Mm-hmm.
And they performed on what was called Heavy Metal Day. And at that time, they were made a one-time appearance fee of $1.5 million. And at that time, that was the highest paid single appearance for a band.
Wow.
The lineup has changed a bunch. So Alex and Eddie Van Halen were the only consistent members. They had a bunch of other people shuffle through.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't always been known as Van Halen. They started out as the band The Broken Combs. Then they became the Space Brothers. Then they became the Trojan Rubber Company.
Then they were ABBA.
And then
they were Van Halen.
And then they changed their name to Mammoth. And then finally in 1974, they landed on Van Halen.
Wow. Why? Just different people leaving and new people coming on, probably? Different
I think
names?
so. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. The only people that stay in this band have the last name Van Halen. So let's just call it Van Halen.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Gene Simmons of Kiss actually produced the band's first demo tape. A famous radio DJ, even though he's horrible on the radio, but he's discovered a lot of bands. Rodney Bingenheimer out on K-Rock out in Los Angeles.
Rodney on the Rock.
Hi, my name is Rodney, and we got a special show for you today.
You didn't breathe enough.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. And did you know that Eddie Van Halen actually was the band's original drummer when they first started out? And it was only after Alex's suggestion that, hey, I can actually play the drums and I can't play the guitar. You should play the guitar. Eddie said, okay, I'll play the guitar, and then just became one of the all-time great guitar players.
Oh, that happened. That like it just happened to him. That's so that's crazy. But a question: why didn't you put together a little short listen to this about Eddie Van Halen when he passed?
Because that would take effort and time, and I'm lazy and have no time.
Well, if you want to listen to a show where he has no time and he's lazy, it's called Listen to This.
No, you know what? I actually did think about that, especially because this season we have a great unheralded guitarist episode. And I think I might record a mini Van Halen episode. The last one that I thought was just really interesting was, I never made this connection, but one of the band's top albums is called 5150. And I didn't know this, but they named it after the code for being mentally insane, the 5150 police hold.
It's a 3-day hold, right?
Yeah, the 3-day hold. So
they have an album called that. It came out in 1986, right? 5150?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, 5150. And so, by the way, it's a great album, but I had no idea that's what it was, why it was called that. But hey, listen, the guy
You're crazy and you didn't know what 5150 meant?
I mean, just because I've had a 5150 used on me a couple times does not mean that I actually knew what it was. Because hello, I'm crazy.
That's literally your PIN number for your debit card.
Wait a minute. Have you been talking to my wife? So
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea. So 2020 is obviously crazy with all these deaths and everything like that. And the other thing I think is interesting about 2020 that I heard that I thought would interest you was 2020 will mark the first year where there's no MCU movies coming out at all. There's not one Marvel movie in the year 2020 that came out.
Are you sure? Because I thought they were going to be putting out the Black Widow movie that was already supposed to come out before COVID.
They pushed it. They pushed it to an April, I think, release or something like that. So now let me ask you this then. So with the 2020 being gone, in a way, I think that's a good thing because we were kind of oversaturated with Marvel movies. This kind of gives us, because think of how excited you're going to be when the next one comes. Like you're going to be super pumped. But does that mean 2021 will be awesome? Because are they going to wind up releasing everything all in the 1 year, or are they going to delay everything? Because if they're delaying the stuff from 2020 and moving it to 2021, all the stuff that was going to come in 2021, do they say, screw it, let's push everything back a year? Or is 2021 going to be the year of like 6 Marvel releases between TV shows, movies, and side projects?
I think they're going to push everything back a year, and I'm just going to play off that whole, like, every hotel doesn't have a 13th floor. It's like everybody's going to, their memory is going to be like, oh yeah, pre-2020.
They're going to do the Men in Black memory wipe.
Well, it's like, oh yeah, remember 2019? Yeah, it was great. Remember 2020? Let's not talk about that. But it's 2022. We're good. Let's keep going.
It doesn't exist.
Everybody's just going to ignore 2020 after it's over.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I mean,
it is. I'm excited because I'm sitting there thinking, like, there's some really cool stuff that I'm excited about. There's some other Marvel stuff that I kind of wasn't super.
This could also be really good for them too, because if you think about it, how many times have I watched Endgame in the last year and a half? Because I haven't gone
a gazillion.
My daughter just looked at me and shit herself because it's a bazillion times. Even my wife is nodding in disbelief.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why my front yard's a little, long, but whatever.
Yeah, but I listen. I wasn't exactly super thrilled for the show that's going to have what's his face with the arrows and the other stupid person. What are a Vision and
the Falcon? No,
God, what's it called?
WandaVision. That one I'm excited for because I have no idea what that one's about. But the other one is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, is it that one? Whatever it is. I wasn't as thrilled for that one, but when they announced that Samuel L. Jackson is going to be reprising his role in there, and going to be and from what I understood, from what I read, it's not like he's making a cameo. He's going to be in a bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe that one actually is going to turn out to be cooler than I first thought.
I think it's going to be pretty dope. If you remember in Captain America Civil War, where Spider-Man's fighting Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the airplane hangar, it's going to be a lot like that because they don't like each other a whole lot. It's like Cap's new friend and Cap's old friend. So, but it is also going to be the growing of Falcon becoming Captain America. So it's supposed to be really cool. I'm excited. I'm super stoked for it.
Well, I mean, listen, I think the reason I was maybe originally turned off by it a little bit was because there was so much Marvel content coming out, right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem as special when something came out. I mean, think of how pumped up we were waiting for Endgame or Infinity War or any of those other ones. But then it kind of is like, okay, we get it. Now it's like every year 3 movies are coming out. I think that what 2020 does is it kind of hits the reset button. And it's like, okay, we're all desperate for new content that's not on Netflix or whatever. And so when it comes out now, I think everyone's going to be like, yes, like I'm ready. Now, the downside is where the hell are they going to show this movie? Because every movie theater is going to be out of business.
Exactly. Every movie theater, I believe, is already out of business. The one down the street actually turned over to a Hostel. So I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, AMC has announced that they only have enough cash on hand to make it to December. And if they're still closed down after that, they are going to shut their doors and be done. And AMC owns quite a few cinemas. They're the largest in the United States. Regal Cinemas has already said that they don't have any money left. Our favorite movie house, Alamo Drafthouse, is also saying that they probably only got about another 3 to 4 months. And so it does beg the question. Yeah, great. All these movies are going to come out. Where the hell are they going to be shown?
I'm just thinking I can get a great deal on a movie theater building. We should buy one and just turn it into like a really fun house.
Let's buy a parking lot and let's turn it into a drive-in movie theater. Maybe this is when drive-in movie theaters make a comeback.
Well,
because
that's
everyone's
happening.
Separated. Everyone's in their own car.
Well, that's happening a lot right now. If you haven't seen a ton of drive-in comedy shows and drive-in concerts, so
true. That's right. Drive-in comedy shows are a thing.
Maybe that's the future. They come up with a better way to make the screens darker, probably, and a little bit better sound. But yeah, no, drive-in is going to be the way to go.
I think that's and you know what? Just like what Alamo Drafthouse did with cinema and kind of changing it by having a unique dining experience, more comfortable seats, better quality projection, way better quality food, cocktails. Yeah. And that's how that's changed because now there's so many places that have copied that tactic. Maybe what we can do is come up with the better drive-in movie theater experience. Like, what can we do that's a better experience for everyone in a drive-in movie theater? And maybe that's what people go do. I mean, think about it. That's how people used to watch their movies.
It's on the side of a parking structure. We have different levels. People back their cars up on the levels there, but we also have a whole parking lot, and the screen's huge. So you can you pay more for the levels of the parking structure, or you can pay for the floor.
That's not bad. Yeah, because then you just buy a parking structure and you have your 6 levels. So there's your 6 movies playing.
You don't need a bathroom. Everybody just pee on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's a parking structure. It already is filled with piss anyway.
It's gonna roll down the drain. You know, it's all made to filter down. Come on, people.
The people on level 1 will get a little bit wet, but I mean, come on. That's why they paid the least amount for a ticket. So screw 'em.
Exactly. And is it going to be by the truckload or is it going to be by the person?
I think you got to just charge a flat rate, and however many they cram in the car, God bless them. Like that. Hey, if you want to put in 18 people, good. Hey, I'm only charging you one rate, and good luck.
Well, I think it's a good plan. Can you find some investors?
Don't worry about it. I have. Hold on, let me look. I have.
Just go get into another car accident. Start talking to someone.
$7 in my wallet. Was that enough? How much? What stock can I get in the company? For
that won't even get you into the movie.
Damn.
Well,
that's a real shame.
Plan ahead.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
No, that's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got. So everybody go to thisisfunner.com. Check out all the podcasts up there and online content that I put out and Eric puts out and my family put out. And wait, that sounded weird.
That sounded weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded weird.
Hey, Chris, I hear your family puts out
episodes of podcasts. So you paused for a long time.
You should have put a comma.
Didn't finish the sentence, Eric.
My family puts out, comma.
Puts out lots of episodes of podcasts. Anyway, there's lots of entertainment up there, and I don't know what else.
Hey, this is the time when everyone's starving for entertainment, since not many new things are being produced. They're just throwing out whatever they've had sitting there forever. So if you want to listen to some funny podcast or some musical podcasts, like listen to this, now's the time. I think in the realm of movies, we're obviously lacking a lot of entertainment. In the world of TV, even though we have 900,000 channels and YouTube and everything, a lot of things suck, and they've ran out of ideas. Podcast, I think, is the only place that's putting out unique content all the time, and by the way, for free. So yeah. I say you should be listening to anything and everything. I just sat in a car over the last few days for probably a total of 15 hours. I listened to a hell of a lot of podcasts. So, and it was free and it was great. And I think everyone should be listening to a wide assortment of podcasts.
15 hours, one accident, one pissed off wife.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey, that's not bad, actually.
That's our rating for the show. It's a pretty good rating.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. And then we'll probably do a show next week if, we're good at this.
Yeah, but we're not, because we should be better at this.
All right, man. Catch you later.
Bye.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.